Have you ever experienced the bitter feeling of your kindness being taken advantage of, when your enthusiastic help is only met with hurt and disappointment? If the answer is yes, rest assured that you're not alone. It's truly unfortunate that kindness can sometimes become fertile ground for deception and exploitation, leaving deep scars in our souls. But don't lose heart just yet. You've come to the right place. Today, we will confront a harsh reality together. Kindness, when not given to the right people at the right time, can become a double-edged sword. Join me as we unveil the mystery, exposing the subtle tactics of those who constantly lurk to exploit the kindness of others. But before we delve into the complex reality, let's journey back in time to an ancient fairy tale. Through its humanistic plot, we will witness firsthand how kindness can be abused, and from there, draw profound lessons to protect ourselves. Once upon a time, there was a young man who inherited a great fortune from his late father. However, he was extremely lazy, not caring about work and spending his days in indulgence. Before long, all the wealth and money in his house had been squandered, and he fell deeply into debt. In despair, the young man decided to end his life. He went to a deep lake behind the mountains and slowly submerged himself into the cold water. At first, the water only reached his knees, then gradually up to his waist, and finally started to fill his nose, making it hard for him to breathe. At that moment, fear overtook him, and he frantically swam back to the shore. Once on land, he gasped for breath, reflecting on the dangerous moment he had just experienced. Realizing that he was trapped in a situation where living was unbearable, but death was not an option, he broke down in tears. This lake happened to be the resting place of the mythical phoenix. Hearing the sound of crying, a phoenix flew over to the young man and asked, "Why are you sitting here crying?" The young man replied, "I am burdened with a large debt that I cannot repay. My creditors are threatening me, and I have no choice but to seek death for relief." The phoenix, hearing this, gently said, "Do not foolishly throw away your precious life. Life is a priceless gift. You must cherish it and continue to live. Meeting you today is fate, and I will grant you a gift." With that, the phoenix used its beak to retrieve a bright, radiant gemstone from under its feathers. Overjoyed, the young man thanked the phoenix and took the gem to the city to sell. With the money, he paid off all his debts and became a wealthy man, famous throughout the region. A few months later, a distressing news spread from the palace. The princess is gravely ill, and only the heart of a mythical phoenix can cure her. Whoever brings the phoenix's heart to the king and saves the princess will be chosen as the royal consort. Upon hearing this, the young man hurried back to the lake where he had met the phoenix, shouting loudly, "Phoenix, where are you? I have an urgent matter. Please help me." Soon after, the phoenix emerged from the lake and flew toward the young man without suspicion, thinking that he was truly in need again. But as soon as it landed on the shore, the young man immediately sprung the trap he had prepared and caught the phoenix in a net. He quickly grabbed the net, ready to take the phoenix to the city to present to the king. The phoenix, shocked, asked, "What are you doing?" The young man replied, "I will take you to the king to offer your heart to save the princess. Then I will become the royal consort of this kingdom." Hearing this, the phoenix was deeply saddened, and its tears fell to the ground. Miraculously, the tears of the phoenix turned into sparkling rubies. The young man, seeing this, was overjoyed, thinking that if one gem had made him wealthy before, these rubies would make him incredibly rich. He hurriedly bent down to pick up the gems, but as soon as he touched one, it stuck to his hand. and he could not remove it. Despite all his efforts, he could neither lift the gem nor move it. In the meantime, the phoenix managed to escape from the net, spread its wings, and flew high into the sky, disappearing into the mist. As for the young man, he struggled in vain, crying out for help, but no one heard him. Eventually, he exhausted himself and starved to death by the lakeside, a victim of his own greed and betrayal. Perhaps you've extended a helping hand to someone with all your sincerity, only to be met with disappointment and hurt in the end. Or maybe you're seeking to understand more deeply the darker side of human nature, about those who have no qualms about exploiting the kindness of others for personal gain. No matter which group you belong to, this video will offer you insightful and valuable perspectives. Together, we'll uncover the early warning signs to identify those with bad intentions and, more importantly, learn how to protect yourself from unnecessary pain. Subscribe to the channel today so you won't miss any upcoming videos. We'll continue our journey to discover the secrets of building a happy and meaningful life, where your kindness not only shines but is also reserved for the right people at the right time. First, we must acknowledge the reality that human nature tends to be ungrateful. I understand this may be difficult to accept, but it is the truth. According to scientific research, human ingratitude stems from a variety of complex psychological and social factors. One of the main reasons identified by scientists is the phenomenon of hedonic adaptation. This concept describes how people quickly adjust to the good things in life and gradually come to see them as given. For instance, when someone receives continuous help, they may initially feel grateful, but over time, that feeling fades, and they no longer appreciate what they have been given. Research by psychologist Sonia Lyubomirsky shows that after experiencing a positive event, such as winning the lottery or receiving significant help, a person's happiness increases but quickly returns to baseline levels. This explains why people often forget to be grateful and begin to take good things for granted. Additionally, ingratitude is related to the social comparison effect. According to psychologist Leon Festinger, people tend to compare themselves to others to evaluate their success or failure. When they focus on what they have not yet achieved or compare themselves to those who are better off, they easily overlook and undervalue the things they have been given by others. Besides these reasons, another source of ingratitude is the feeling of arrogance when someone believes that everything they receive is deserved, a rightful reward for their talent or efforts, and that they need not thank anyone. They stand atop their success, looking down on those around them with a sense of superiority, forgetting that to reach that position, they received countless acts of support, assistance, and silent sacrifices. This arrogance acts as an invisible wall, separating them from gratitude and leading to isolation and loneliness. Have you ever wondered if kindness, pure and genuine like a refreshing stream, can inadvertently cause unforeseen consequences if not properly directed? Sometimes we offer help with all our hearts, sincerely wishing to share and uplift others, but unintentionally sow the seeds of dependency, complacency, and even exploitation. Now join me on a journey to uncover the hidden side effects when your kindness is misplaced, so that we can give love in a wiser and more meaningful way. First, you inadvertently create dependence in the person you're helping. When your kindness exceeds necessary limits, it can unintentionally foster an inflated ego and excessive reliance in the recipient. For example, you may have a friend who constantly faces financial difficulties. Initially, you are willing to help by lending money or buying them food. However, If you continue to do this too often without encouraging them to find ways to solve their problems on their own, they might begin to see your help as a given. They may stop looking for work or managing their finances better, instead always relying on you to rescue them. Instead of feeling grateful and striving for self-reliance, they start viewing your assistance as a privilege and may even demand or expect more. They might begin to ask for larger loans, more expensive gifts, or even continuous emotional support. Gradually, the balance in the relationship fades. Your kindness is no longer appreciated, but rather taken for granted and even dismissed. Meanwhile, the recipient, instead of growing and becoming independent, becomes increasingly passive and unmotivated to overcome challenges on their own. This is an undesirable situation. The recipient not only loses the opportunity to learn, grow, and become self-sufficient, but may also develop a mindset of dependence, negatively affecting other relationships in their life. On the other hand, for the giver, having their kindness exploited can lead to feelings of exhaustion, disappointment, and even resentment. It diminishes the value of giving and can cause you to lose faith in human kindness. Therefore, remember that kindness must be paired with wisdom. Helping others is a good thing, but help in moderation and encourage them to be self-reliant. Sometimes, the best help is to assist others in discovering the strength and potential within themselves. Number 2, your kindness can become a barrier to their growth. It's a sad paradox that kindness can sometimes unintentionally hinder the growth of others. When we help someone too much, we might inadvertently deprive them of the opportunity to face and overcome challenges on their own. Instead of learning to solve problems, they become reliant on your support, gradually losing their independence and critical thinking skills. Imagine a child whose parents always do their homework for them. Despite good intentions, this action prevents the child from learning how to think and explore independently. Similarly, when you're always ready to solve every problem for others, you're unintentionally taking away their chance to learn from mistakes, develop resilience, and cultivate essential life skills. Excessive help can turn into an invisible cage, trapping the recipient in dependence and passivity. They no longer feel the need to exert effort or try because you're always there to help. This not only affects their personal development, but also makes them vulnerable to life's real challenges. Therefore, remember that sometimes the best help is to encourage others to stand on their own. Give them the space to experience, make mistakes, and learn from those experiences. Be a companion, offer support and encouragement, but never do for them what they are fully capable of doing themselves, because only when facing challenges can people truly grow and become strong. Number 3, you create chains for yourself. Have you ever realized that in your efforts to help others, you unintentionally create an invisible pressure on yourself? You constantly feel the need to be there, to take on responsibilities, to become a superhero, solving everyone's problems regardless of how it affects you. You forget your own needs, push aside moments of rest and self-care to chase after the calls of others. You might be a mother who stays up late and wakes up early, worrying about every meal and sleep for your children to the point of forgetting that you also need rest. Or you could be an employee who always takes on extra work, staying late to help colleagues, even though you're already overwhelmed and exhausted. Or perhaps you're the friend who's always ready to listen, share, and comfort others, even while your own heart is burdened with countless worries. Stress and fatigue accumulate over time, like the final drops that cause the cup to overflow. You may feel drained, losing the joy and enthusiasm in life. Kindness, which is a precious virtue, now becomes a burden on your shoulders, making you feel suffocated and trapped. You may become irritable, easily angered with those around you, or worse, fall into a state of depression and anxiety because you feel unappreciated. Remember, you are not a superhero who can carry every burden on your shoulders. You're human too, with your own limits and needs. Don't let your kindness become an excuse to neglect yourself. Learn to say no when necessary. Take time for the things you love and care for your physical and mental health. Because only when you are full of energy and happiness can you continue to spread kindness and help others in a sustainable way. Don't let your kindness become a flame that burns you out. Remember, taking care of yourself is also a way to show kindness to yourself and those around you. Number 4, you could become a victim of bad people. If you possess a kind heart, always ready to extend a helping hand to others, you undoubtedly radiate positive energy and attract the affection of those around you. However, kindness, like a magnet, not only attracts kindred spirits but can also inadvertently become a target for those with malicious intent, ready to exploit your sincerity for personal gain. Imagine you're a woman with a generous heart, always enthusiastically helping your neighbors, from babysitting and cooking to lending money when they're in need. Initially, everything seems fine, but gradually, the line between helping and being taken advantage of becomes blurred. They constantly come to you with increasingly excessive requests, even becoming upset when you can't fulfill all their demands. Your kindness is taken for granted, and you become a victim of the selfishness and ingratitude of those around you. These individuals are often very cunning, able to disguise themselves as weak, unfortunate, or struggling to deceive your compassion. They may tell heartbreaking stories and appear pitiful, so you can't refuse to help. They might even promise to repay the favor, but never actually fulfill their promises. Or let's say you're a generous man who frequently donates to charities with the desire to help those less fortunate. But you may not realize that some of these organizations are exploiting your kindness to enrich themselves. They use the donated money for personal purposes instead of helping those who truly need it. This is the harsh reality we face. Kindness, when misplaced, can become a double-edged sword, causing harm to yourself and unintentionally aiding in wrongdoing. Number 5, you might get taken advantage of. Help, even when it comes from a sincere place, if given unconditionally and excessively, can inadvertently lose its value and even backfire. People tend to appreciate what they have to work for and conversely take for granted what comes too easily. If you are always willing to help without requiring any reciprocation or effort from the recipient, they might start to see it as a given, even their right. Your kindness, instead of being appreciated and valued, could be taken for granted or even blatantly exploited. Imagine you're a friend who's always eager to help your friends in everything, from academics to relationships. Initially, they might be grateful and appreciate your support. But if you keep doing it for them without encouraging them to solve their own problems, they'll gradually develop a habit of dependence, seeing you as a magic wand that can make all their difficulties disappear. They'll stop trying to learn or face challenges on their own because they know you'll always be there to rescue them. Another example, you could be a manager who always protects their employees, doing all the difficult tasks and fixing all their mistakes. At first, they might feel grateful to have such a dedicated boss, but in the long run, this will cause them to lose motivation to grow, stop trying to improve themselves, and become passive and irresponsible in their work. Therefore, remember that kindness needs to go hand in hand with wisdom. Help others when they truly need it, but don't forget to encourage them to be independent and develop. Sometimes the best way to help is not to do everything for them, but to guide, instruct, and let them experience and learn from their own mistakes. That way, you not only help them overcome immediate difficulties, but also help them mature and be stronger in the future. We've explored the unintended consequences of misplaced kindness, of sincerity being exploited. Now let's continue on this journey, equipping ourselves with a subtle compass to recognize the signs of ingratitude. By understanding these manifestations, you can be more discerning in bestowing your kindness, steer clear of individuals who might take advantage of you, and protect yourself from unnecessary hurt. Sign 1. Rarely or never says thank you. One of the most obvious signs of a person lacking gratitude is that they rarely or never say thank you when they receive help or a gift. In fact, when they do receive help or a gift from others, their attitude can be indifferent, apathetic, or worse. They may complain or criticize if what they receive doesn't perfectly meet their expectations. Failing to say thank you is not just a sign of disrespect, but also reflects a selfish attitude where they only know how to take without giving back. These individuals often see others' help as something they are entitled to and never take the time to appreciate or express gratitude. Sign 2. No concept of reciprocity. Those who lack gratitude often do not understand or care about the principle of give and take in relationships. They are comfortable receiving without any guilt or intention to reciprocate. Even when asked to return a favor, they may do so half-heartedly, without respect, or with no sincerity. In many cases, you may feel as if you are the one who owes them, even though you were the one who helped them first. For instance, you might help them with an important task or provide financial support during a difficult time, but when you need help, they might make excuses to refuse or offer minimal, insignificant assistance. This shows that they have no sense of gratitude and are merely using you for their own gain. Sign 3. Does not keep promises and disregards the needs of others. An ungrateful person often does not keep their promises and disregards the needs of those who have helped them. They may agree to help you in a situation, but in the end, they will do things their own way, without caring about the outcome you were hoping for. This demonstrates a lack of respect and responsibility in the relationship. Additionally, they may easily make promises they never intend to keep. They might say they will repay you when they have the chance, but when that time comes, they will find ways to avoid or make excuses for not fulfilling their promise. This shows that they are not truly invested in the relationship and only see you as a tool to achieve their goals. Sign 4. Does not value or maintain relationships. An ungrateful person does not value or maintain relationships with those who have helped them. They only reach out when they need help or some benefit, and when they no longer need anything, they disappear without a trace. These individuals often do not spend time maintaining the relationship. They lack genuine concern for others' lives and see the relationship only as a means to an end. For example, they might contact you after a long period of silence just to ask for a favor, and after receiving your help, they vanish again until they need you once more. This indicates that they do not feel gratitude, but are merely exploiting you for personal gain. Sign 5. Critical and disrespectful language. People who lack gratitude often use language that is critical, blames others, and devalues the efforts of those who have helped them. They might boast about what they have done but fail to acknowledge or downplay the contributions of others. For instance, after receiving help, they not only fail to say thank you, but may even complain that the help wasn't good enough, or blame you when things don't go their way. This behavior not only hurts those who have helped them, but also reflects a selfish attitude that focuses solely on themselves. without considering the feelings of others. Sign 6. Emotional and psychological manipulation. One of the most dangerous signs of a person lacking gratitude is their ability to manipulate your emotions and psychology to achieve their own goals. When you remind them of the help you provided, they might make you feel that you are being too petty or calculating, refusing to acknowledge their own selfishness. They may twist the situation, making you feel guilty for asking for reciprocation or for bringing up the fact that they have received help from you. This can lead you to feel as though you are in the wrong and continue to help them without realizing that you are being exploited. When you notice these red flags in someone you're helping, it's important to have a clear action plan to protect yourself and maintain balance in the relationship. This includes setting boundaries for your help, ensuring reciprocity, communicating openly, and learning to say no. Kindness shouldn't be one-sided. Make sure that the person receiving your help also has a sense of responsibility and obligation to reciprocate, at least by expressing gratitude and respect. If they constantly take without giving back, or even make demands and complain, it's a clear sign that they're taking advantage of you. If you feel like you're being taken advantage of, be upfront and share your feelings with the person. Explain that you're uncomfortable and desire a more balanced exchange in the relationship. If they truly value you and your kindness, they will listen and adjust their behavior. Learning to say no is perhaps the hardest step, but it's also the most crucial. Don't let your kindness become a burden that leaves you feeling tired and exhausted. Remember, you have the right to refuse help, especially when it affects your health, time, or happiness. Saying no is not selfish. It's a way to protect yourself and ensure you have enough energy to continue helping others sustainably. In reality, in a relationship, people who are overly cared for naturally tend to develop a mindset of dependence and reliance. Conversely, those who are overly protective often believe they are shielding and helping their loved ones. However, excessive care can inadvertently deprive the recipient of the opportunity to mature. They may lose the ability to be independent, solve problems on their own, and face challenges, becoming passive and lacking in confidence. True love and care are not about control or overprotection, but about giving others respect and freedom to grow. Let them experience life, learn from their mistakes, and mature. Sometimes stumbling is part of the growing process. Imagine a mother who always does everything for her child, from housework to schoolwork. Initially, the child might feel happy and grateful. But in the long run, this will make the child passive, lacking in life skills, and unable to be independent as they grow up. Similarly, in a romantic relationship, if one person always sacrifices and does everything for the other, the latter may gradually become dependent and no longer appreciate what they receive. True kindness is not just about giving, but also about knowing when, where, and to whom to give. Help others when they truly need it, but also encourage them to be self-reliant and develop. Be a companion. Offer support and encouragement, but never do for them what they are fully capable of doing themselves. Remember, kindness is a precious gift, but it needs to be given intelligently and consciously. Only when you protect yourself and value your own worth can you continue to spread kindness in a sustainable and meaningful way. Our journey together ends here, but your journey to protect your kindness has just begun. I hope the stories, lessons, and advice in this video have helped you understand the value of kindness better, while also recognizing the potential pitfalls when kindness is misplaced. Remember, kindness is a precious gem, but it needs to be cherished and given wisely. Don't let your sincerity be exploited. Don't let malicious people hurt your kind heart. Learn to say no, learn to set boundaries, and learn to recognize the signs of exploitation. Let your kindness shine in the right place at the right time and to the right people. By doing so, you not only protect yourself, but also spread positive values to the world around you. Thank you for joining me throughout this video. If you found these insights meaningful, don't hesitate to like, share, and especially subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future valuable content. We will continue to explore together the secrets to living a meaningful and happy life, where kindness is always cherished and shines brightly. Wishing you strength, confidence, and the wisdom to protect your kindness. See you in the next videos.